white apron from neck to ankle, turned from the huge cast-iron stove with a smile. "I must have. Did someone call me earlier?" "Yeah, Astrid did, but she said you didn't answer." "I thought I was dreaming." "Actually, I thought it a nightmare, but—" "You'll get used to the early mornings. I think it's the most beautiful part of the day, when the earth is waking and the sun peeps over the horizon." She handed him a steaming cup. "Do you want cream and sugar?" Her Norwegian accent reminded him of their cook at home. "Thank you, no," he said as he shook his head. Not that he was a big coffee drinker, but right now he needed all the help he could get. He took a swallow and stifled a cough. Hot and strong enough to stand his hair on end. From now on, he would ask for cream and sugar, although he suspected none of the rest of the family did. "Fit in," his mother had advised him. Some fitting in things would take a real effort, like straight coffee. "Can I get you anything else?" Ingeborg was now breaking eggs into a large bowl from a basket of eggs she had sitting on the counter. The heat from the cook stove had already removed any coolness from the air. "No, thank you." He drained his cup and set it in the sink. More advice from his mother. "Put things away. There will be no help to follow after you like you've had here. You don't want to cause them extra work. They have enough to do." He'd not been sure if his mother was in favor of his coming west or not, since she had been so set on his spending the summer at the shore and then abruptly changed her mind. Maybe she felt responsible for the rumors flying around, since at her request he'd begun the party scene at prep school. "Is there anything I need to take to the barn?" he asked Mrs. Bjorklund. "No, all the buckets and milk cans are already there. Breakfast will be ready when you're finished." Her gentle smile made him feel welcome all over again. He headed out, leaping down the 3 steps of the back porch. He jogged toward the big red barn, where the sound of cows and slamming wood, people laughing, and a rooster crowing reminded him to hurry. He was late for his first day on the job, a mortal sin according to his father. This was not going to help prove he could be responsible. Other than the laughter, the smell hit him when he entered the dimness of the barn. His nose pinched, and he swallowed. He'd never been tolerant of smells. When Mr. Bjorklund had given him a tour of the place the afternoon before, the barn hadn't reeked like this. He'd identified hay and grain when they'd opened the feed bin, and an overlay of this odor that now drove other senses right from his head. "I was beginning to think you were going to sleep all day." Astrid grinned up at him, her blue eyes twinkling. Her sun-streaked wheat-colored hair hung in a thick braid down her back. A faded apron covered her from just below her neck to halfway down her skirt. "Pa said I'm to teach you how to milk. We saved the gentlest cow for you." He hoped she wasn't teasing on that point, as he took a bucket and a 3-legged stool from her hands and followed her down the aisle. Andrew, one of her brothers, and Samuel, Trygve, and Grace, the Knutson cousins who lived next door, were already milking away, filling their buckets with foaming white milk. Others were milking on the opposite side of the long barn. Jonathan still wasn't sure how this whole family worked together. He knew Mrs. Knutson ran the school for the deaf, and Mrs. Bjorklund the Blessing Cheese Company, but the arrangement of the farming between the two families still confused him. Obviously, all the milk cows were here. "This is Bess. Most of us learned to milk on her. She's more patient than any of the others. She's never kicked anyone." Astrid set the stool down, gave the brown and white cow a couple of pats, and sat down herself, so close her head was right next to the cow's flank. You need to be close enough to be comfortable, or your back will begin to hurt after a cow or two. Then you put the bucket between your knees like this. As she spoke, she did each action. Using a squeeze and pull motion, starting with the rear teats, although it doesn't matter which two you do first, you grasp firmly but gently and squeeze and pull.